Good morning, everybody. It's Pastor Wick with Broadman Baptist Church. This is the Broadman Word for September 13th, 2021. And I want to talk to you today about something that we can do each and every day. The title for today is Like Jesus. And you may have heard me say it before, but I'll present it here. If somebody meets you, they should meet Jesus, meaning that Jesus should be emanating from you. His words, his acts, his kindness, his love should be coming from you to the lost world. I have a story for you today. It's kind of a heart-moving one. It's about a group of businessmen who are traveling together, four of them, and they're in an airport and, of course, frantically trying to transverse concourses to make a connecting flight that they are about to miss. Well, in the melee of it all, dodging between people and things and trying to get to their gate, they knock over an apple stand. And three of the men just casually look back but keep pressing forward to their gate. But one, after a few steps, understands what's going on here and stops, and he starts to head back to the apple stand, and he waves at his traveling partners as they're piling in the line to get to the gate to make their flight. And this man heads back to the apple stand. When he gets there, he's very glad he does. He meets a 16-year-old girl who was running the stand. Turns out that she was blind, and she's on the floor on her knees frantically trying to gather her spilled fruit and just beside herself. He puts his things down and helps her gather up all of the fruit, helps her put the display back together while she sits there and gathers herself. He finds some of the fruit that's been damaged, some of the apples that have been damaged, and sets them aside. And then, feeling remorse for having put this blind young girl through this trauma, he feels obligated to at least pay for the damaged fruit. So he pulls $40 out of his wallet and says, here's for this fruit that we damaged, and I'm very sorry. Are you okay? And she says that she's fine, and fortunately the money box hadn't gotten disturbed, and she was going to be able to go on about her day. He gets up, says he's sorry again, and then feeling that at least he made the situation right, started to walk away and try to find another flight that he could make. The girl calls out to him, though, while he's walking away, and asks a very important question. He says, "Are you Jesus?" And can you imagine his surprise at such a question? And the man turns and he says, "No, I'm not. And unfortunately today, I'm not much like him, at least not at first." And she says, "Well, when the cart got knocked over, I prayed for Jesus to come and help me get it back together." And so the man was very touched about that. And then she says, Jesus did show up today. He sent you. And I want to thank you for answering the call and helping me in my time of need. And of course, that was an incredibly moving point in his life, and really put things in perspective. Was business travel and making flights and all the hubbub of a day really all that important? Or was it more important for him to stop and help the young girl? Perhaps even slow his life down a little bit so the incident would have never happened. It doesn't really matter if he was the one who knocked over the cart or not. We don't know in the story. But what happened afterwards was. So I want to encourage you to keep perspective on this life that we have. There's so many distractions out there. There's so many things for us to do. Our calendars get entirely too packed with things and responsibilities, and even ministries, if we let them pile up, can become burdensome calendar items and not truly the fulfillment of the love of Jesus Christ. So we need to have the experience that this man in the airport had. We need to be the ones that will stop and help, or maybe have the perspective ahead of time to not be in such a rush where things can get missed or lost, or unfortunately left behind consciously, like his 3 traveling partners. It's critical during this time in our lives, and particularly with the need for our voices to be so clear in the nation at this time, for us to be the ambassadors that we're really supposed to be the truth tellers, to be the voices of truth and reason, to advance God's good purposes in our lives so that the kingdom can move forward and reconciliation with as many as possible can take place. These are the things that need to have our attention. This is what needs to fill our calendar. These are the things that we need to be rushing towards, not any particular commitment that's not really going to help anybody. So listen, I love you. I hope you have a marvelous day. As always, it is a marvelous day to be a Christian. Go out there and live Spirit-led. And if somebody meets you or somebody needs you, let them see Jesus. Take care.